The majority of Exodus through Joshua in the Bible could easily be summed up with, they walked a lot from one location to the next. Et voila, no need to read those 5 books, right? Except the writer of these books paid an unusual amount of attention to each leg of the Israelites' journey to the Promised Land, and then their work of conquering as they went from one city to the next. We're specifically told about how God was a cloud by day and then a fire by night that lifted and guided the Israelites forward. The names of notable mountains and springs, as well as cities and other people groups encountered, are specifically mentioned. The grumbles about hunger, exhaustion, and general dissatisfaction are recorded in almost excruciating detail. If we truly believe all of the Bible is divinely inspired, and we do, why would God include this extensive, unflattering travelogue? More to the point, what does he want us to see as we read about ancient Israel's rocky expedition to their future homeland? While studying records of women who were captured by Native American groups, Professor Amy T. Hamilton notes,
walking, whether coerced or voluntary, always requires the effort and agency of the walker. As opposed to a passive body carried away on horseback or in a wagon, the captive who walks is intensely aware of her embodiment, as she must purposely place one painful step after another. In narratives written months and even years after their actual captivity, the writers use representations of themselves walking in captivity to express not only physical and emotional pain, but also a degree of agency and resilience.
For some individuals, she suggested that their writings indicate an increased awareness of an internal journey through their wanderings. These quiet moments or conversations can be when our minds are still enough for us to hear God speak.
God never coerces us into anything. He always woos us and leads us. There's a wooing of God, but the volition of whatever journey we take with him is simply that. It's out of your own volition. It's out of your own choice. He woos us and he speaks to us. He speaks out of his word.
The journey's tedium gives us the opportunity to listen for God's voice. But wandering has another benefit, one we like less but need just as much. Laborious travel almost always leads to breakdowns. Israel's trip through the desert was a spectacular example of how swiftly tired, bored people can start bickering and then embroil themselves in moral failure. It's almost enough to turn you off group road trips. But it isn't as if God doesn't know this is the most likely result. In fact, it's almost as if he plans for it. We will fail. If we're bored or tired or hurting, we often fail even faster. When we fall down, there's a reason the very language is ubiquitous for the physical act and spiritual state. The fight to find our feet and the friend's hand we may need to stand again mirrors itself between the sidewalk and the quiet minutes in our church. Our Father has created us to walk, to peregrinate over great distances, both physically and spiritually. God has given us the grace to endure the slow journey, and he will meet us and walk alongside us, teaching us, correcting us. Day by day, we put one foot in front of the other in this journey called life.